Hello and welcome to all you at-home scale model luthiers. Today we're going to show you how to put together your scale model bass guitar kit. Welcome to our tutorial on how to finish sand the fingerboard and neck of your scale model bass guitar. This tutorial is part 2 of a series designed to help guide you through the process of making your scale model bass guitar kit from aPurla Handcrafted Guitars. So if you're watching this video and you haven't got a kit, or you missed the first video, you can find all those details in the links below. The tools you will need to complete this task are your glued neck and fingerboard, hobby knife, sanding block, 220 and 320 grit sandpapers, and a small file. Begin by unclamping your glued neck and fingerboard. There will probably be dried glue runoff down the sides of the parts, which we can either scrape off by using a hobby knife, or if you aren't comfortable with using a hobby knife, or you're doing this project with a child, you can skip the hobby knife and just take a bit more time on your sanding. When using a hobby knife, always remember to cut away from yourself to avoid injury, as these knives are pretty sharp. Have your sanding blocks at the ready because we're about to go to town. A quick overview of sanding is you use the coarsest grit, 40 to 80 grains per centimetre, for your bulk sanding to do all the hard and fast work. This does leave big scratches in the wood, so you will then need to use the finer grits, 180 to 320 grains per centimetre, to remove those scratches. A great trick we use is to bend your sandpaper to match the different curves of the instrument. This can help in any internal curves, like the heel of the neck or the shoulders of the guitar. Now we can sand the end of the fingerboard with our sanding block. We use a small block of wood to prop the neck up so we can get a better angle. For the best result with sanding, you want to start with a coarse grit and work your way to a finer grit. The more grits you use, the less work you will have to do with each grit, but if you skip all of them and go straight to 320 grit, you are going to be sanding for quite some time. Here we are sanding by hand for the neck, and with a block for the fretboard. We do this to avoid leaving unwanted, uneven finger grooves on our nice flat fretboard. So that we don't lose track of where we are up to, we always try to keep a system to our sanding. This way we can avoid missing parts or getting an uneven sanding job. For example, you could sand all the flat parts of the heel on the raised block, then sand the neck itself, followed by the back of the headstock, sides, and then the front of the headstock, and then repeat using the next grade of sandpaper. Once you get stuck into your sanding, you will see why this system is so useful. You will be sanding the same parts 3 times over or more, and it is easy to lose track. You want to ensure you sand each surface of the neck, taking your time on each grit to get them as smooth as you are happy with. If you're going to lacquer your instrument, you want to stop at 320 grit so the lacquer can still adhere, but if you're going to wax or French polish, you will probably want to go further with your sanding. If at the end of sanding you are left with a polished surface that still looks like it has some large deep scratches in it, you will want to go back a grit or two to remove those deep scratches before going on to the finer grits. Avoid blowing the sawdust indoors. Instead, wipe the sawdust clean, otherwise you will have dust everywhere. We like to use the back of our sanding block to scrape sawdust out of the way. And now you have your finished sanded bass guitar neck with fingerboard. The next step will be fretting, and we'll be talking you through that process in our next video. Stay up to date with all our tips, tricks, and inspiration on our website and social media. If you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.